Okay, so today I wanted to work on a few things. We've done a lot of t-shirts and I got a couple more to do, but I'm kind of burned out on that for a minute. I wanted to do something else. So I started doing these YouTube videos, and YouTube offers you an opportunity to put your logo on your videos. And I looked at my logo, it's kind of trash. So I just threw this up years ago. So I thought today, and I've always wanted to do something with the O and the D for O'Brien Design. So the first thing I did is I did design icons. So this video is going to be about, again, I like to focus on the busy professional and help you quickly achieve a goal. The first thing I would recommend you do is do an icon. Just type in whatever it is that you're looking for. And I really like this one right out of the gate. So I'm going to right mouse click, open image in new tab, and I'm going to do save image as, and I believe it's right here. So I already downloaded it. It's right here. Okay. Again, if you're going to use this as is, then pay for it, but I'm not going to use it as is. And I'm not even sure I'm going to use it at all. Right now, I'm doing a mock-up for myself to figure out what it is that I want to do. So I liked this idea, and my thinking was, this is a half of an O, okay? And it also represents the nodes inside of a drawing application like Affinity, Illustrator, Photoshop. So it kind of says graphic design in a subtle way. So I also checked vector stock. I did design icon, and I just looked for inspiration to see if there's anything that kind of stands out. And I just kind of scrolled through here, and this is kind of my process, and I recommend you do the same. The biggest mistake that I see a lot of small business owners do, and I've worked with a lot of small business owners designing their web pages, print materials for them, signage, giveaway stuff like coffee cups and bumper stickers, and I've done billboards, bus signs. The biggest mistake I see a lot of small business owners make is they spend way too much time nitpicking their logo. To be honest with you, and this is probably forsaken thing to say in graphic design, it doesn't really matter. Just make it something that's memorable, that kind of fits what it is that you're doing, okay? Especially if you're starting out or if you're launching a new product. Just pick something. I know that that is maybe hard to hear and say, oh, you're talking about my brand here and you could make a lot of bad choices. Yeah, you could, because here's my philosophy. If you get something up that gets you in the ballpark, right now, time is against you. You need to get it up and going to capitalize on that window, okay? So that was one of the biggest things that I wanted to not do for myself. That's why I chose this logo for me. And it's not great. It's not great. I just wanted something quickly to get up to buy me time so I could figure out what it is that I wanted. Because in this world, you can change your logo every 10 years, every 5 years, unless you're Coca-Cola, but Coca-Cola was 1900s. Don't be afraid to pick something and run with it is what I'm saying. All right, so let's go ahead and open up Affinity Designer because there were some things that I wanted to do. I'm gonna go ahead and do a new document. And there was something else that I wanted to do too, is I wanted to do OD letter logos. This also can give you some ideas and some inspiration. Because I wanted something like this, I wanted something like this, I wanted something like this. You know, this is dated to me. This is too swirly, too swooshy. And if you really like something and you gotta have it, just buy it and throw it up. But I wanted you to see that I did look at these as well to get inspired. You don't have to spend a ton of time creating a logo. You do not have to spend a ton of time creating a brand. You can go something simple. I mean, if you go to Dribble, that's their mark. Their claim to fame is the multiple Bs. You can go to Target. Okay, we all know their mark. Look at Walmart. Okay, they're just using the asterisk. Okay, and they've stylized it. Spotify. Okay, it's just a few slashes in a circle. Do not knock yourself out and hold yourself up. Logos grow out of time. They really do. They're like an entity. You have to get one up and see where you go with it, okay? So I know I wanted to do something with the OB, and I wanted to do something kind of an iconish. So we know that an O, let's grab our circle and let's create an O to start off with. Okay, and we'll center that up, and I will create another one, Control J, and I will hold Control Shift, and I will scroll it down. I kind of want a thickish O, okay, and I will lose the fill on that, and I will lose the line on that, and I'll fill it with black, and I'll fill this one with white. So I wanted something like that. Now I'm going to highlight both of them, and I want to knock this white and turn it transparent. So let me show you how to do that. Okay, so I'm just going to draw a rectangle. I'm going to put it behind all of this. Okay, right now you can see that it's white. So we have a rectangle behind it. So what you do is you highlight the black one, I hold down Shift and I highlight the one above it, and I've got them both selected. I think it might be subtract, and I got lucky again. But if you're not sure, you can just do Control Z. You can do an add. Well, that's not going to work. Control Z, do an intersect. That's not going to work. And this is usually what I have to do. So we know it's subtract. And that's why I put the background behind there so you can see that it's not still white. It's now hollow. And I want to create another one of these. So I'm going to do a Control J, and I'm going to hold down Shift, and I'm going to arrow key it down. Okay, and then I'm going to draw another rectangle. Okay, and you may know what I'm going to do next here. I'm going to subtract. Yes. See, again, I wasn't sure, but I want to subtract. Okay, and that's what I was looking for, because now I have half of a D. And I could do something simple like that. I don't think it's very sophisticated, but I wanted something very simple like that. And it also is kind of me, right? And who's not going to want that? Come on, if you don't love the smiley face, you're on the wrong channel. Okay, so anyway. All right. So this is what I did, is I started off with something like this, and I could, finish it off with something like this as well. You don't have to take it to the end because the D will hide it, but you want to make it as thick. So that's pretty good. Actually, it was dead on. It's pretty good, right? And if you want that, you can add those, and now they become one, okay? And now it is a solid D, okay? And I didn't mind this. I really didn't. I didn't think this was bad. I thought, you know what? That would work. Okay, so let's just put this off to the side. Let's do our other trick. Now, the O is a little thick for me, so I might just do this. And this is what you learn, and I kind of did this on purpose because I want to show you, okay? Instead of doing multiple circles, you can... A lot of times, it's knowing what your tools can and cannot do. And this is one of the things that I hope to accomplish on this channel, is to show you what you can do. We don't want to do the fill. We want to bring the stroke up. And so the stroke is there. See how thin that is? But we can come over to our panel here, click on our circle, and we can do this, and we can adjust it however thick we want, right? And now we're back to square one here. And if we want, here's a little pro tip. You drop down its opacity 50%, okay, and you can scroll in, and now you can dial it in. You click up to your stroke width here, and you just arrow key it down, and it'll take it down point by point, and that's pretty good. So we're dialed in, and by doing that, you also have another look. Check that out. Now that's kind of funky, and maybe we can do this. See, and that was the reason why I wanted to do it, because again, now if you've watched my videos, so I have to do a Control Z, okay? What am I not doing? I'm not scaling with object, and that's the thing that you have to remember when you're doing your stroke, is you have to scale with object. And here's the difference, is now it'll scale down. Okay, let's highlight the whole thing, hold down Shift, and it scales down. Now that's kind of funky. Now what if we were to do this, hold Shift and turn it? That locks it into increments, I think, of 15 degrees, maybe 10 degrees, could be 5. So that's 30, that's 15. So it is in 15. So it goes 0, 15, 30. That's what Shift does. Now, if you let go of the Shift, you're free to turn it however you want. But I kind of wanted to do this. That kind of works for me. And maybe even fill this in. Let's see what it looks like filled in. Send it to the back. And the curve, we fill it with white, the D. See, that does not look too bad to me. I drag this down, and I do a Control J, drag this out, get rid of the fill, drop the stroke down. See, and we give it an accent to make it the reversed O as well. So that's an idea. And let's group it. We'll make it icon size. See, the biggest thing is you want to be able to read what it says that small. So now I am going to do Montserrat. That's for sure. I know I'm going to do Montserrat. I already figured that out. Montserrat is a Google font. I use a lot of Google fonts because they're free and the licensing is pretty liberal. O'Brien Design, okay? And I think I want to do lowercase. I love the juxtaposition of one being upper and the other being lower. I want to do something like that. Okay, I could go with that all day long and it would look good like this, right? That would look good on a hat. That would look good on a cup. And I could bring back my communications. Forgot the N. Okay, that's number one. The other thing is rarely do you find something right out of the gate. The more you warm up, it's just like anything else. Your first design rarely is going to be the one you knock out of the park. It gets you started and it gets you fired up. Typically, it's your third or your fourth. At least for me, it is. Sometimes it's your second. So let's go ahead and take a look at our next idea. And let's take a look at that download that we had and let's bring it into here. Let's go ahead and unlock it and let's go ahead and do a Control J and duplicate it and we'll turn off the original. And we'll go ahead and switch over to the pixel side and we will take a look here. Now, I know you have the selection brush tool and we can scroll in and we can just start grabbing this gray. But you want to make your brush smaller and you do that by doing right bracket makes it larger, left bracket makes it smaller. And you can just start clicking through here. And eventually, if you're lucky, it'll grab the whole thing. So you make sure you've got the right layer picked. You do a Control C, you come back over here and you do a Control V. And now it's just a matter of manipulating this. So we can just scale it down. We can do a Control J and we can mirror it, flip vertical, scroll in, and we just hold shift, bring it down, take off shift, and we do it one pixel at a time to get it nailed in. Now we can grab both of these and group them, scroll it down, and we can bring it up to here, right size, Control J, bring it down, okay, and let's grab our swatches and let's grab our color from here, okay, and we can change that font, that color. And we could do something like that. Let's drag this over here, zoom out, take a look, and we can sit here and we can mess with that. We can do all caps there. And this I'd probably want to drop back down to a 14 because it is all caps. And I drop this down to an 8. See, and this looks wrong. So let's go ahead and see, I would click this in 1, possibly 2, because it just looks wrong. See, that looks visually right to me. This one looks wrong. 1, 2. That looks better to me. So we have 2 looks here. We don't have to spend all day. But the reason I don't necessarily want to go with this one, I haven't completely made up my mind, is this indicates that I'm only doing print. And I do more than print. Dare I say, a lot of web stuff. So I don't want to be locked into just print only. But it got me thinking, okay, so let's grab capital O from Montserrat and let's bring it up big like this. And we could then right mouse click and convert to curves, okay? And then pick our node tool and we could do something like that. But I wasn't really digging on that idea. But you see what I'm saying? It's an extension of this idea, okay? Maybe we do something like that. And I'm gonna make it black though. So I'm going to get rid of the gray and I'm going to make it black. And now I can do an Alt print screen and I can delete this. And now I can do a Control V and I got the same image. And now this can become my icon. We crop it down and we leave the handles on there and we make it icon size. Okay. Now the downside to this is you can see it. I don't have control over how thick these lines are. And now I have a 2-color logo because now I'm printing a cyan color, blue, and a black. And I don't know that I would want this either like that. But we could go with this idea of a theme. And now we can grab this, Control J, and we can drag it down. We can make this a little bigger and we can switch these to black as well. That looks cool and everything, but I don't know if it communicates everything that I'm looking for. But we're just throwing down ideas, right? Look how fast this went. It didn't take me very long to get these ideas. This one's extremely big, so I'm gonna drop that down. Okay, and now we're building a brand board here. Let's go back to the O and the D because I really wanted to mess with that. I am doing lowercase and maybe the juxtaposition doesn't look good here. So what we can do is, let's go ahead and do an O. And this time I think I want to dump the interior because I know I'm going to want a thick circle to look like an O. And now I'm going to Control J this and I want to come down with it, Shift, And then I want to make a D. So let's bring down our stroke width and we can dial it in again. And we want it on the thickest part, and we can scroll this up till it blends in, and we can fill it black as well. That's a little tall. I don't think we need it that tall. Maybe something like that. See, we're not quite as thick. So I got to do my trick again. So we'll do 50%. Let's change its color to red because I can't see it. Now we can see it, right? So I don't have it dead on here. I want to go to here and I want to go to here. I want the thickness dead on. You can scroll in and really get dialed in. See, and I bet you if I see that's too much, but I can hold shift and that should work right there. It's close enough. And we can switch this back to black and we can put it back to 100%. And now we have the O and the D, but I think I'm gonna need to make this bigger because what I'm thinking is, and I want my stroke to be not so thick. Okay, and now we can do an add. And I don't know if I want to do that. Let's just do a group. I was thinking about putting something in the center here, and I kind of like that. My strokes are not quite right, so I'd probably go into the group and I'd probably thicken these up a smidge. And that's the advantage of using the stroke, is I could probably go get away with this. I could drop this down a bit and we can thicken this one up till it matches. And we can grab this one, thicken it right up, and we can grab the group, put it back in the center, thin this down a bit. See, I like that as well. Okay, and what if we were to turn it, something like that? Now it's not just an OD, now it's taking on a shape of its own when you turn it. And this is the advantage of just moving things around, checking it out, trying all kinds of things, because now it's not just an O and a D, it's taking on a shape. Now that's a P, so we don't want to go that far. And we can't flip it like that because then it becomes a B, right? So we don't want to do that. But when I was bringing it in, it looked kind of cool over here. Now that, holy cow, look at that. Now that is unique. Okay, so yeah. All right, so let's grab this and let's group it, okay? And let's scale it down and see how it looks small. Now, the O and the D isn't screaming at you, but it's there. It's definitely there. And I'm not locked into, that is not print. That is not web only. That is universal. And that would look cool on a cup. That would look cool on a hat. So let's do this now. Bring it down here. Oops, don't want to do that. My wife makes fun of me for saying this, but come on, man. Winner, chicken dinner, right? Oh my God, this is awesome. Look at that. I'm excited. What you don't realize is that designing for myself takes forever because I am so critical of my work. It's ridiculous. I can't design anything for myself. And so one of the reasons I'm so excited is because I found something and I haven't been in here for 10 years. I think you saw it here first. I think I'm going to go with this. I really like this. And now I want to change its color. So I am a big fan of greenish gold, but I'm starting to use purples and blues. I love blue though. Now the question is, do you make the whole thing blue or do you just make the O'Brien blue? Okay, I don't know about that. I kind of like it all black. Okay, and maybe we make this 70. Okay, or we drop this all together. And I think I want to space out my tracking. I kind of like that. All right, well, I think this is a winner chicken dinner. I'm sorry, I love it. I think it's awesome, and I think it's gonna work for me, and I think I'm gonna make a few videos on this. I think I'm gonna put some merch out. I'm gonna put it on the website. I certainly wanna get some shirts printed for me, and I wanna get a baseball hat printed for me because I can just see this on a baseball cap. I may get some coffee cups made for the wife and I. I think this is gonna work. I'm really thrilled, okay? So what I'll do is I will make some videos of how you take your brand. My wife, being the marketing genius that she is, she recommended that I maybe do a brand guide and show you how to create a brand guide after you've created a brand. So this is the first step. I think we've created a brand here. I think that we've, and one of the reasons that I picked myself, besides shameful plug, and I know you know that, and that's fine, but the other reason is that I do work for clients and I have to get their permission to use their work. they may not want to be on YouTube. So I'm going to do client stuff because I have 2 websites I need to design. But I talked to my wife and she said, just throw a markup there and do the design anyway. And so I think that's what I'm going to do. I got 2 websites I need to get done, and so I'm going to get them done. And you guys will come along for the ride. So anyway, thanks for stopping by. This was a lot of fun today. I really enjoyed this. I'm really thrilled. So thanks for coming by. And you know what? You have a great day, and we'll see you the next time. Okay. All right. You take care. Bye-bye.